only as good as your guest.
You can't beat talent.
I used to like pretend to be you, and I thought I looked like a sexy clown. Just don't have to be a dick.
This is the red carpet treatment brought to you by the Brit Awards with MasterCard. I've got to say today's guest is a proper use of a generally overused term, which is iconic. Oh. It's the one and only Bimini, everybody.
Yeah.
You were born in Great Yarmouth.
I was, yeah.
Where's that?
I don't know. No, if you look at the UK, the little like bum that sticks out the side.
Right. Oh, that way.
Yeah, that bit that no one ever goes to.
Bimini. Great name.
Thank you.
What's the story?
So, if I was born with different genitalia, my mum was going to call me Bimini.
But why Bimini? It's an unusual name, though, or am I?
It's the name of an island in Bahamas.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like she really liked it as a name, and she said she was going to call me Bimini or Saskia, but I thought Bimini's cool.
Yo, Saskia's kind of wild though.
Saskia's cool, but like all I remember from Saskia is on EastEnders.
And she hits him with the ashtray.
Yeah, the ashtray.
Oh my God.
So that's all I remember.
Cursed forever.
Yeah.
A bloody ashtray only. Have you been to Bimini though?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, but the island had an Instagram account at Bimini, and after Drag Race, they messaged me and was like, "Do you want to buy the handle from us?"
How much?
It was like $1,000, but I was like, I'm not going to buy the island's.
$1,000's a decent deal. I can't lie.
Yeah,
it's a decent deal.
But I was like, I'm not going to buy the island's name.
You could buy the island.
I mean, they had 700 followers.
I promise you, as somebody who's experienced a similar name, I'll say name hijacking. In this case, obviously the island pre-existed. £1,000, I would have taken that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I didn't have it at the time. And then when I did go back, it was a bit higher.
So you were, of course, part of the second series of Drag Race.
Yes.
It's safe to say that show changed your life. But looking back on it now, how does it feel to have had that opportunity, and kind of where would you be without it?
Well, I'd probably be still like in the basements of some clubs in East London, dancing around on a chair.
Sounds great.
But no, it did change my life and it was amazing. And I think, I remember when we actually first heard that Drag Race was coming to the UK, and it was like a shockwave through the scene. Because the scene is like, there's a lot of diversity in the scene, but it's quite intimate. It's quite small. Like everyone knows each other.
Right.
So we were like, how's it going to change? I mean, it has definitely changed drag in the UK. Like there's pros and cons of what's happened with it. But I think especially for like local venues and kind of, you know what I mean? Like the bars and stuff. When I went on the show, I mean, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to do all right. I was doing shit to begin with, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lip sync first episode, and then like my paints dried up and it didn't explode. So it's like all going downhill for there. But then then we had the break, the COVID break, and I just had a minute to be like, no, you were a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Because like getting knocked down in the first week, it was like, whew, okay, I'm up against some tough competition. But like, I do think I was meant to go home in the first week.
Yeah.
I think they set that up, but I was just better lip syncer.
Sometimes you can't beat talent, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is it. I had 10-inch shoes on, you couldn't beat that.
Can't beat it. That's interesting though. You think that there's been like the mainstreamification or the current mainstreamification of the drag scene that's had some cons?
I would say so. I feel like people feel now that there's somewhere they've got to reach. There was always drag queens. There was always like people doing it. And I feel like now everyone feels like they've got to aspire to a certain level. It's a shame to do that because I feel like drag, for me, I mean, East London drag was just like bonkers.
I can understand that idea of like the watering down in order to reach a bigger audience.
I think like Drag Race, like I love it. And like, I think like I was lucky to even like get to showcase my drag. Cause like, I mean, for me, it's like drag was a way to explore my gender, my identity and who I was. And like, I feel like there's a lot of rules in drag.
Right.
Which when I first started, I was like, oh, I've got to follow these rules. And I thought I looked like a sexy clown. I looked awful. But like, I was like following them. And I was like, no, this isn't me. Yeah, I was like painting my face like white and doing these massive like Joker lips. And yeah, I thought I was well sexy, but I wasn't. Yeah, then I was like, no, I could do it my way. Like I know who I am. Like I don't need to tuck. I don't need to pad. I'm not doing female illusion. I'm me, you know? Like I'm putting makeup on and putting
because it's part of your identity.
Yeah, that's me. And I feel like it's just like a kind of extension of that. And I think like drag allowed me to explore that, but then there can be the limitations of like, oh, you've not got the shape enough. And it's like, as if there's like an idealistic shape of what a female body is meant to look like.
Is that a newer wave? Where it's like, it's more
I think it came from America, to be honest.
Well, also, I felt as though even though it might not have been necessarily represented with any depth, there's always been a backbone of drag performance in the UK.
Oh my God, like
entertainment, pantomime.
Lily Savage was on like primetime telly in the 90s.
R.I.P. man, Lily's.
Yeah, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a new phenomenon.
Was it Blankety Blank?
Blankety Blank. Fire. Yeah. There was a performance, and I don't even know what channel it was on, and it was Barbara Windsor, Cilla Black, and Lily Savage doing "You Gotta Get a Gimmick" from Gypsy, and it's incredible because they are literally in like the skimpiest outfits. Like Barbara Windsor comes out in like a little thing, and like Cilla Black is like in this tiny thing that lights up at the like crotch, and I'm like, that wouldn't be allowed on TV now because everyone would be like, oh, that's too crazy. I'm like, no, they were doing it.
So polymath, written a book, making great music, which we'll talk about in a bit, and I got exclusive listen because you sent some to Jade.
Yes, I remember that.
And talking about Jade, you were in the Little Mix confetti video.
Yes, when they did drag.
The other way.
Drag King, yeah.
Well, not the other, Drag King.
Yeah.
That was, I think, it's my favourite video of theirs.
Yeah, it was really good.
What is the accomplishment that you're most proud of so far?
I feel like kind of getting to do what I do, like in a sense, like I grew up being told I wasn't creative. Like I went to school because I was a bit more academic in a way, and like creativity wasn't pushed, and like I've got like so many amazing things happening that are like my wildest dreams, and the fact that that's even happened is like crazy.
You've written A Drag Queen's Guide to Life, Release the Beast.
Yeah.
Was the desire to write this birthed from your outlook on seeing the kind of clumsy nature of social interaction?
I come at it from a place of we can all coexist. We can all live, you know, like we can all be different. And I think there's beauty in difference.
Yeah.
The fact that we are humans and we get to wake up every day and either follow your dreams or do what you want to do. Like we get to do that. And I think having so much hostility and having so much division, it's just terrifying. It's so sad to have that. And I think like people's opinions might not agree, but like, it doesn't mean it's not valid, you know? Like my opinion or their opinion isn't valid. Like everyone has kind of their reasons for something, but you just don't have to be a dick.
How do you feel about the music?
I feel good. I feel like I've got so much music that I would like to put out. I feel like I have not put out as much as I want to.
Okay.
Like I've been in the studio since 2021 and I've probably got like, I don't even know, over 150 tracks that I've done.
Are you more on this like housey vibe? Because you had God Save This Queen, which was like naughty, punky, but then the more recent releases are
there's
more like housey.
Gone housey, yeah. I was playing around with trance for like a year, but nothing came out.
And then why is this not out?
I don't know.
You've been at the Brits twice.
Yeah.
You presented an award with Rob Beckett.
He kept saying to me like, what are we going to say? And I was like, I know I'm going to say.
Oh, you had it in your mind.
Well, I was like, I was like, if I
want to use this opportunity. Yeah, right.
Before we get into it, I do want to take a moment and just say, for everyone, right now in the UK, it's a really difficult time for some people. For trans people and non-binary people, even more so, it's very difficult. And I just want you to know that everyone in this room loves you, and you are valid, and trans rights are human rights.
Yes!
I'll use that moment to speak to trans people and just tell them that, you know, we love you. Most people want the best for each other. I'd like to think that. I'd like to think most people do. And I think like when conversations happen, that's when change happens. And I think like most people haven't even been in a room with a trans person. So like, how can you be threatened by them? And like the statistics don't even match. Like it's all just hysteria and a moral panic. What's worrying is like when these conversations are happening and if rights are taken away, that can happen to everyone.
Yeah.
Like if it's happening to one group, who's to say it can't happen to you? You're like us, you know?
Yes.
Like it's scary. And I think that's what we should be like most worried about and like fighting for, like the rights for everyone.
I'm fully of the belief that the freedom is in liberation, not restriction.
Totally. And like people that disagree with like human rights and stuff, I'm like, how can you debate the existence or you're trying to say that person doesn't deserve that? Like it's just blows my mind, especially if it doesn't even affect you day to day, you know?
So being the big fan of noughties pop culture that you are, I'm sure the Brits have had a few moments that live in your recollection. Any performances that you count as iconic?
I definitely think like the 90s when Jerry Halliwell went solo, Bag It Up, like that was just crazy and iconic. that was just such a cool era, like of what was like Cool Britannia and what was going on. What I always used to love is just celeb culture as well, and just seeing like everyone there at the tables, and when it was a bit more ruckus, you know.
Your top 3 fashion icons: Pamela Anderson, Vivienne Westwood, and Kate Moss. Right? Have you met Pamela Anderson?
No, but she's like the photo man.
I remember when Trisha Goddard commented on one of my.
Yeah, I love Trisha.
And I was like,
Norwich.
Trisha Goddard off of the television box.
Yeah, no, Pamela's. I recreated like a campaign she did for Peter.
Peter. Oh, Peter, the animals.
Yeah. Well, I was in like
the way you said it just was like Pete, like
like Peter.
It's got to be Petter.
I was in like it's Peter. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, no, Peter in a bath, like kind of nudie, and then it's like each animal part, and then I recreated it, and she just put a heart.
Have you got it framed?
No, but I have got Pamela in a couple of frames.
Serious?
I like started rebelling with my fashion about 15 in Yarmouth, and me and my friends, we found charity shops and realised you could buy like a fur coat for £4, and I was like,
amazing.
All my other mates going to River Island spending 20 quid. Back then, you'd go out on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And like everyone would have a new outfit.
Did you do any edits on your school uniform by the end of the?
Oh my God, yeah, I did.
Go on.
I became prefect, but then I was like, I don't want to wear the jumper, so I got like a cardigan, like a navy cardigan.
Yeah.
It was the girls' uniform. No boys were allowed to wear a navy cardigan, and I got put in isolation. I also had like bright blonde hair and this big black streak that went round it like a skunk, but they put me in isolation for that. And then...
What would you prefer it for the hair?
Well,
that's unacceptable.
It was like the mid-noughties, you know, like there was a lot of bad taste. But basically they put me in isolation and was like, you can't wear that. And I was like, no, I'm wearing it. If girls can wear it, why can't I wear it? And then all the little gays in the years below started wearing them.
The little gays?
Yeah, you could see all the gays.
Were there a bunch of little gays in your school?
You could tell the ones that they start wearing the cardigan. No, I remember like we started rebelling. Me and my friends like started like fashion, and we'd like wear ripped fishnets and fur coats, and it was like the mid-noughties, like peak, like Diet Coke and Kate Moss. So it's like spending my lunchtime like, I mean, it's really naughty, but like my mum would give me like however I did money, I'd buy cigarettes and like smoke.
Bimini,
and we'd all be like, I think we're Kate Moss in like fur coats.
Have you met Kate?
Yeah.
Of all the people I've met in the entertainment industry, she's probably the one who's most similar to all stories I've ever heard of Kate Moss.
I've met her twice and I couldn't speak.
For real, for real?
She's the only person I've ever met where I was like...
starstruck. Yeah.
Because I've got her tattoo on, I didn't want to tell her, but like, I got it when I was 15. She got a little anchor there and I've got it as well.
You didn't tell her?
I first met you. I'm like, hey, Kate.
I got a tat.
I used to like pretend to be you at 16 and I've got your tattoo. No, I didn't want to say that.
Why?
I was trying to play it cool, but then I didn't say anything at all. I think I just said, these shoes are really uncomfortable I'm wearing, because I was wearing So Kate's, the Louboutins that she did. So I just basically told her shoes were uncomfortable. Them ones especially, like, they're really uncomfortable. Yes.
Actually, no, maybe the boots. Wait.
The boots would be fine, but the So Kate's, they're like 6 inches, like, but there's no platform. So yeah, it looks all right, but not at the end of the night.
You recently said on Insta, if I can give advice to anyone starting drag or anything, start really bad so you have nowhere else to go but upwards.
Yeah.
That is great advice. Advice I've taken personally because now I'm confident I'll be better at presenting.
You are a good presenter.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah, only as good as your guest as well, you know.
Because of your position in pop culture right now, in what they call it, the zeitgeist.
The zeitgeist, yeah.
Is there any lasting message you'd like to give to young audience members, fans who might be, investigating themselves, wanting to see a more fluid outlook on life?
Make your own rules, follow what you want to do, and stay true to that. Keep at it, try new things, break rules, have fun. Life ain't perfect.
Awesome. Bimini, everybody!
Hey. Thank you.
Coming up next week on the red carpet treatment is AJ Tracy.
When we're from the ends, bro, there's certain things that we've learned and the way that we act, and it's not appropriate, you know what I'm saying? And you have to start learning to be in public and be media trained, so to speak.